Now, what is interesting to note is that microbial spores found in recent samples from Caribbean islands following Saharan dust cloud were not native to Earth's known biosphere. Means it's not from our environment. So what the heck is it? People are getting sicker, coughs are lingering, they're getting weird rashes, asthma flaring in previously healthy people. If this is a coincidence, well, I'm not sure. So, what's the purpose of this whole thing? Is it to condition the air to deliver infections? Because that is the story out there. What they do not tell you in the news is that certain microbial spores found in recent samples from our Caribbean islands were not native to our part of this world. So, with each wave of dust, you're finding now pharmaceutical companies, they're making a fortune selling inhalers, steroids, antihistamines. As a matter of fact, I found out today that some even have standing contracts with the CDC and FEMA for emergency responses. What is in Sahara dust to have emergency responses? Well, leave your comments in the section below. And I went to dig in and found a lot of information, but this should be enough to really tickle your fancy here, because some discoveries were made. A university affiliated research station in the Lesser Antilles, which is the Caribbean here, didn't get to see it on paper, but I found out it was in Puerto Rico, supposedly running routine atmospheric microbiome analysis, reported the isolation of three micro reported the isolation of three microbial spore variants from post dustfall samples that didn't match any known Earth taxonomies, which means not from our side of this space. What is going on? Where is it from? And this was taken from the last Saharan dust that passed, not this one that's currently passing. DNA sequencing failed to classify them. One sample even showed mirror image chirality in its amino acids, spores having amino acids. What's going on? These living things falling from the sky now? The biochemical equivalent of what they call the left handed range in a world of right handed tools. And so, what does this mean? These spores shouldn't be able to interact with human, but strangely, they do. And that is why a lot of people have been crying out for their eyes. It's not the regular thing. I'm going for the doctor, eye doctor, during this Saharan dust interaction. It's just weird, right? Because they're interacting with human eyes. Dormant until exposed to UV radiation that begins rapid replication. And cultures began exuding a gelatinous, which is a jelly like substance, and a bioluminescent, which means shines, a sheet, possible form of communication or defense. This is from the research, guys. That is why my friend told me today when he got up last evening, his eyes was burning like hell, closed the window, and looked to see on the window something shining back at him, and he was wondering where the light was coming from. Basically, was part of his eyes, and then he said he just went to sleep because it was really weird, and his eyes was just burning, burning, burning. So there's spore number two in the research that it reacts to the electromagnetic field in the lab. It moved away from electrical equipment as if it could sense circuitry. And this goes with a weird story that came in from St. Lucia today from me, but I'm not gonna talk about that right now. And then spore number three, they're saying bonds with human mucosal membranes and temporarily alters local immune responses. So this is crazy because volunteers exposed in the controlled environments experience brief euphoria followed by intense fatigue and dreams of geometric shapes. And the intense fatigue is now being reported at a lot of doctor offices across the islands. It's crazy what's going on. And people still believe it's just Saharan dust. And they say that we are spreading misinformation and not giving our sources. Why would I want to give you the sources? If I give you the sources, I will not be getting information again. But if it was an Edomite saying this to you, of course, you would believe the Edomite without questioning him. But but I will leave that for another time. We are still being brainwashed and we really believe these people. The silent sin begins because shortly after the research station submitted preliminary findings to international journals, the lead microbiologist disappeared. Her co-authors issued a retraction under mysterious pressure. The lab service was wiped, remotely blamed on lightning-induced power surge. Just recently in Puerto Rico, there was a big lightning surge. A lot of persons lost power instantly. I understand that three universities were out. Some of their data was wiped. I don't know if one of these, one of those universities were involved in this, but it just happens like that when you do things that people don't want you to find out. But the original raw sequence and data, a backup copy, ended up on a secure academic server in Sweden. There's a lot of them over there. And one brave postdoc leaked it anonymously on the dark web under the tag Dust Codex. The dark web is very expensive. You pay a lot of money to get in. Not much people get into that because, what you find there is just amazing. The sequences were downloaded, decoded, and confirmed by several underground exobiologist forums. The consensus was that these spores are geoengineered in origin, just like I said yesterday. It's geoengineered dust that's entering the Caribbean, where we are facing a battle, we are facing a war. A lot of people don't want to believe. They still believe it's just Saharan dust. And when you speak these things, they say that you are giving misinformation and disinformation. Well, continue to stay there and fall for the brainwashing. You better wake up. That's all I'm saying. Leave your comments in the section below.